Okay, so I've been thinking a lot recently about how black people are perceived. Personally, I feel that the black community relies too much on the government to help them and on the media when it comes to telling us what to do and what's going on in the world. Not just black people, people in general, but the way I look at it is in places like the UK and America, very liberal, rich places, black people are not always seen in the best light. Sometimes we're seen as thugs, sometimes we're seen as victims, sometimes we're seen as gangsters, sometimes we're seen as criminals. I know some of those words are almost the same thing. Sometimes we're seen as too submissive, too weak, too poor. And, if it's black men, we're too aggressive. Or if we're not aggressive, if we're very passive, they'll think we're too weak, too lame. If it's a black woman, they'll think, oh, she's too bossy, she's too arrogant, she's too loud. Black women always get the negative stereotype of being loud, even though they're no louder than anybody else. Black kids growing up in a white majority liberal society that pretends that, people don't see color, but you've got 12-year-olds being stopped and searched for police because walking down the road is suspicious, is why black kids, their parents always tell them, stay in uniform after you leave for school for the day, so that they look nice and they don't look like hoodlums, according to the police. You have some black people, they don't have the best relationship with the police because they think that most police officers are racist, and because of everything that's happening with protests and violent demonstrations, some of them may be inclined to think that black people are more aggressive than average, and the media doesn't help. I made a video some months back about how Planned Parenthood was based on a racist lie, how the lady that created Planned Parenthood, she, didn't care for the mentally ill, she didn't care for, people in society who were vulnerable. She didn't care for defective stock, and back in the day, stock meant slaves. So she may have been talking about black people. Now, this was the 1930s. When they were getting Planned Parenthood up and running, they were making sure to get black women in the South, black people in the South, let me not mess up my facts, make them infertile, as possibly black men. But, my video's on my channel, so you can watch it. But my main point is Planned Parenthood, it was basically founded by a racist eugenicist lady, but nobody wants to have that discussion. There's a statistic that 78% of abortion clinics in America are within walking distance of black and Latino communities. Now, you can choose to believe that or not, but I've already mentioned before about the big billboard in Dallas, Texas, which I presume is a white majority area. There's a big billboard promoting abortion, and they only used pictures of black women saying abortion is self-care. So you've got what I presume is liberals, because mostly conservatives are not pro-abortion. Most of them are pro-life, not pro-abortion. You've got liberals telling black women that abortion is self-care. If you can't afford a baby, get rid of the baby. You've got liberals under the guise of organizations such as Black Lives Matter telling black people that it's okay to act violently, act viciously towards people of authority, including police, burning stuff, breaking stuff. You've got the media, pushing this feminist narrative to all women, including black women, saying, oh, men aren't SHIT. And if it's black women, some people will talk about how black men aren't SHIT, but I won't say black men, they'll use the N-word. And, that it incurs negative feelings, negative perceptions about black men, especially because, some of us didn't grow up with fathers. So, if a woman grows up without a father, she'll automatically, especially if the mom's talking about how her father was a deadbeat or whatever, she'll already have a negative perception of men, particularly older men and particularly black men. So sometimes I even mentioned this in the last video regarding BLM. Sometimes you're out here in a bar, in a pub, or a club, you're talking to some women. The white girls might give you a chance, see what you have to say. It doesn't necessarily mean they're into you, but the black girl will already look at you like you're like you have suspicious ulterior motives and sure tank the whole thing for you, because black women are now being conditioned to not only be suspicious of black men, but to be to just disrespect black men. They don't see us as anything unless we've got the clout and the money. Now, this is my opinion, but I recently watched, I need to watch this video in full, but I took a quick look at one of Aberrant Preacher's new videos, and there's a lady called Janae Mai on one of these all-female talk shows in the States. I don't know if it's a talk, I don't know if it's the view, and I don't care. This Asian American lady, she's talking about how her sexual preference is, you know, white men, main dish, black meat on the side. I'm like, all right. If a man had said that about women of any ethnicity, particularly if it's a white dude, that's career over, but all right, who cares? But I'm not going to pretend that I'm perfect, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm without sin, but I try my best not to fetishize people. Like, if I'm attracted to people, I'm attracted to people, but I don't try to fetishize people based on what they look like. Like, I'm not going to act, if I see a cute girl who happens to be of Asian descent, I'm not going to go all yellow fever and then just be like, oh, she's Asian this, Asian that. If it's a white girl, if it's a black girl, same thing. I'm not going to fetishize her skin color, alright? It's stupid. If you're attracted to somebody, talk to them, see if you can meet with them. Obviously after lockdown's over, but you don't look at them like they're a statistic or look at them like they're a skin color that you can fetishize, because that's just stupid. Again, I'm not a feminist, but you don't have to be. It's just common sense. I wouldn't want people to fetishize me based on my skin color. Like, I've spoken to girls before and they're like, oh yeah, I like black guys, but you know, I'd like a thug. And I'm just like, you know what? I like, especially since I'm Nigerian, like we've all got university degrees, we've all come from decent families, but they don't care. They just want the statistic giving them the, you know what. There's a rhyme in there, but I can't say it because of YouTube. I don't want to be fetishized when I'm talking to somebody that I'm attracted to, and I don't want to fetishize the other person because I know how it feels. You can't be out here presuming stuff about people because of what they look like. But, you know, the Jenny Mai situation, you know, it's a well-known female-led talk show in America. And, you know, it's just one example of how degrading the black man or black people in general is like, it's not frowned upon, it's almost encouraged. Like, people say it so casually. Like, I could never, let's pretend I had a talk show, or let's pretend this YouTube channel had like 1 million subscribers, and I said, oh, you know, I like Asian women because they're submissive. Or obviously, I'm looking forward to the day when somebody takes a snippet of this video and puts it out of context and tries to use it against me. But I don't actually mean that. I'm not going to go after somebody because I think they're more slutty or more submissive than another race. That's stupid. But back to my main point. You got the feminist movement and all this stuff talking about how, you know, black women shouldn't be respecting black men. You've got all these Derek Jacksons and Melania Pinks, whatever their names are. I also mentioned this in another video. They're talking about how black men, they have to be rich. They have to be, well, Pink was talking about how they have to be rich to deserve any type of woman. You shouldn't date a blue-collar woman. Sorry, a blue-collar man. You shouldn't date a blue-collar man. But this was a woman, like, who didn't have a husband, didn't have a boyfriend. She was in her 40s. She had to put on a cake full of makeup just to look presentable. She's telling women half her age or the same age in similar situations. Maybe they got like a bunch of kids from different marriages, talking about, oh, you can get any man you want. You deserve a high-value man who's got lots of money. Now, can you get a high-value man if you're a single mom with multiple kids? Yeah, of course you can. Sure, it's happened before. It can happen again. But the issue is when people are out here being picky, but they don't understand that they have baggage. Myself, like me, I'm not the richest person in the world. I've got stuff to do in my personal life, but like, to ascend. I need to elevate my career. I need to elevate my lifestyle. But I'm not going to be out here talking about how I should only want to date supermodels and, date girls, actresses and models and certain types of actresses. No, that would be stupid. I must, better myself as a person before I'm out here having the highest standards in the world. But when it comes to some of these relationship coaches that are geared towards women, they're always talking about how, you as a woman, you're empowered, you can do anything, you can get any guy, and you should only go for the best guy. But the best guy might not want somebody with baggage. Obviously, having children isn't, I wouldn't consider it baggage, but some people might. Some people who have lots of money and are spending most of their time on their business or at their job, they might not feel that they have the time or the energy or the money to be looking after somebody else's kids just because they want to fornicate with their partner. Like, I'm sorry, some people don't want to do that. But don't blame me, it's just how it is. But I've just used myself as an example where I'm not going to have the highest standards in the world while I'm still trying to elevate my life. So, but with these relationship coaches, they make women think that you can do that. And with people like Derek Jackson, who, according to ABBA and Preach, have been clowning black men by telling them, telling black women, if he doesn't text you back within 2 seconds, he's not invested in you, move on to the next one. Like, talking about how women should, expect their men to do whatever it takes to keep them happy. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched that many of his videos. I don't want to, but that's the type of nonsense that relationship coaches will teach women, that they deserve the world. They just have to find the right type of guy, whatever. Just like a lot of these red pill coaches will talk about how, you as a man, you're the king, you deserve anything and everything. But at least with these red pill gurus, at least they're honest. But it's like, look, if you expect to date the hottest women in the world, if you expect to date the most desired women in the world, you have to get your stuff together. You have to get your money right. You have to get your business right. You can't be out here letting anybody in the world dictate to you how to live your life or what schedule your life should have. Let's say you have a job, but it's not a great paying job. If you want more money, you might need to start a side hustle and scale it up so that it can become your main source of income, and you can retire yourself. You shouldn't just rely on an employer to get you rich, because almost no one in the world has ever gotten rich from having an employer. Almost nobody. I don't know anyone personally who's done that. They'll tell you about how you need to invest your money, how you need to work on your body, work on yourself, read more, do more, become a better man before you're out here expecting to get 9s and 10s. But with the relationship coaches on the other side, the ones that are geared towards women, they'll tell a woman who's broke, got a terrible credit score, like, that she can, that has not much to offer to a relationship. Not all women, just some. They'll tell those type of women that you can get any guy, you should never date a blue collar guy. But you don't understand that a lot of blue collar workers are self-employed. Plumbers, construction workers, they're self-employed. Some of them might even own their own businesses. They may be blue collar, but they're self-employed and they have employees. But it is what it is with a lot of women in this world. If you are easy to gain, if it's easy to go out on a date with you, they're not interested. But if it's hard to get the man to commit, if it's hard to get the man to say I love you, if it's hard to get the man to want to only be with you and to say I'm your boyfriend, you're my girlfriend, from personal experience, women seem to be into that. So it is what it is. I've almost lost my train of thought. But the situation is, when it comes to dating and relationships, particularly when listening to coaches, I feel like black people seem to be following the wrong advice from the wrong people. You've got black women being told, don't go to any guy, don't date any guy unless he's high value, white collar, runs his own business, is a bloody millionaire. It doesn't matter what is happening in that other person's life. You've got black men being told, by society, by the media, by the government, by everybody, by friends, family, colleagues, everyone, that the only way that people are going to respect you as a human being, let alone a lover, let alone anything else, is if you get your money right, is if you get your body right, is if you read more, is if you become a better person, speak properly, work out, become the alpha that you're always meant to be the type of person where men want to be you and women want to be with you, that type of stuff. And to be fair, it's not just black men, it's all types of men. But with liberal run companies, organizations such as Black Lives Matter, they're also telling black people that if you don't get what you want, you can demand it via violent means, breaking stuff, burning stuff. And obviously that's not the right way to go. So you've got the police not trusting black people not trusting police, things happening, people dying, people getting killed wrongfully, and then the cycle repeats itself. Then Black Lives Matter go and tell people to protest because of somebody else dying, and then they get funding, like they got 90 million last year, and then they go and do more protests, and then more property damage in the millions in white neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, whatever, and then more police attack more black people, and then the cycle continues. Even in the UK, ever since the Sarah Everard incident where a police officer, killed this young lady, what happened? There's been a vigil. There was a protest at the place, at the vigil, with all the flowers and stuff, where people put all the flowers, to commemorate her life. All those people that put down flowers, in honor of her memory. And then there was a rally, there was a protest rally, and then police officers put their knee on the backs of the protesters and arrested some of them. And then it's been decided that the police officers acted lawfully. Okay, whatever. And then you've got Bristol, there was an anti-police protest. There's been a lot of anti-police sentiment. But you shouldn't let the media tell you what to do. You shouldn't let relationship coaches tell you what to do. You shouldn't let fake gurus and fake gods and fake prophets tell you what to do. Because you'll have Planned Parenthood and other abortion clinics tell you, get rid of your black babies. You'll have feminists tell you that black men are nothing. Don't listen to them.